All right, so what happens next in Genesis chapter 43? Do the brothers return to Egypt? Do they stay in their own land and just let their brothers rot, or brother rot in prison and run away? We don't know, unless we read. So Genesis 43, this is what it says. But the famine continued to ravage the land of Canaan. When the grain they had bought from Egypt was almost gone, Jacob said to his sons, "Go back and buy us a little more food." But Judah said, "The man was serious when he warned us. You won't see my face again unless your brother is with you. If you send Benjamin with us, we will go down and buy more food. But if you don't let Benjamin go, we won't go either. Remember the man said, you won't see my face again unless your brother is with you? Why were you so cruel to me?" Jacob moaned. "Why did you tell him you had another brother?" "The man kept asking us questions about our family," he replied. "He asked, 'Is your father still alive? Do you have another brother?' So we answered his questions. How could we know he would say, 'Bring your brother down here'?" Judah said to his father, "Send the boy with me, and I will be on our way. Otherwise, we will all die in starvation. And not only we, but you and your little ones. I personally guarantee his safety. You may hold me responsible if I don't bring him back to you. Then let me bear the blame forever. If we hadn't wasted all this time, we could have gone and returned twice by now." So their father Jacob finally said to them, "If it can't be avoided, then at least do this. Pack your bags with the best products of this land. Take them down to the man as gifts: balm, honey, gum, aromatic resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Also take double the money that was put back in our sacks, as it was probably someone's mistake. Then take your brother and go back to the man. May God Almighty give you mercy as you go before the man, so that he will release Simeon and let Benjamin return. But if I must lose my children, so be it." So the men packed Jacob's gifts and doubled the money and headed off with Benjamin. They finally arrived in Egypt and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the manager of the household, "These men will eat with me this noon. Take them inside to the palace. Then go slaughter an animal and prepare a big feast." So the man did as Joseph told him and took them into Joseph's palace. The brothers were terrified when they saw that they were being taken into Joseph's house. "It's because of the money someone put in our sacks last time we were here," they said. "He plans to pretend that we stole it. Then he will seize us, make us slaves, and take our donkeys." The brothers approached the manager of Joseph's household and spoke to him at the entrance of the palace. "Sir," they said, "we came to Egypt once before to buy food. But as we were returning home, we stopped for the night and opened our sacks. Then we discovered that each man's money, the exact amount paid, was in the top of his sack. Here it is. We have brought it back with us. We also have additional money to buy more food. We have no idea who put the money in our sacks." "Relax. Don't be afraid," the household manager told them. "Your God, the God of your father, must have put this treasure into your sacks. I know I received your payment." Then he released Simeon and brought him out to them. The manager then led the men into Joseph's palace. He gave them water to wash their feet and provided food for their donkeys. They were told that they would be eating there, so they prepared their gifts for Joseph's arrival at noon. When Joseph came home, they gave him the gifts they had brought for him, then bowed low to the ground before him. After greeting them, he asked, "How is your father, the old man you spoke about? Is he still alive?" "Yes," they replied. "Our father, your servant, is alive and well." And they bowed low again. Then Joseph looked at his brother Benjamin, the son of his own mother. "Is this your youngest brother, the one you told me about?" Joseph asked. "May God be gracious to you, my son." Then Joseph hurried from the room because he was overcome with emotion for his brother. He went into his private room, where he broke down and wept. After washing his face, he came back out, keeping himself under control, then ordered, "Bring out the food." The waiter served Joseph at his table, and his brothers were served at a separate table. The Egyptians who ate with Joseph sat at their own table because Egyptians despised Hebrews and refused to eat with them. Joseph told each of his brothers where to sit, and to their amazement, he seated them according to age, from oldest to youngest. And Joseph filled their plates with food from his own table, giving Benjamin 5 times as much as he gave the others. So they feasted and drank freely with him. What a bad place to end a story. This is actually really, 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 really cool. I mean, you know, if anyone asks me a question, hey, people shouldn't play pranks, right, Pastor? I'm like, no, this is a prank. I mean, Joseph is having his way with his brothers, and he's having a darn good time with it, too. What is he doing? He's punking them. I mean, they're getting punked. They're sitting according to age. Benjamin gets extra food. He saw his younger brother, and he broke down in emotion. I mean, this is an emotional moment. And he's trying not to lose it. because he wants to scare his brothers or just play with them a little bit. And that's what he did. He took care of Simeon. Simeon was there. I mean, it would be funny if he told Simeon and go, hey, you know what? I'm one of your brothers. Let's kick it. I mean, Simeon was probably one of the brothers who conspired against him, so he might not be as friendly. But, yeah, those were his brothers. The ones he looked up to. Now he sees them bowing at his feet. And then seeing his blood brother, his full brother, Benjamin. He probably took care of his little brother, hung out with him. Probably didn't play with anybody else because, all the other brothers didn't want to play with him. So he probably hung out with Benjamin. Benjamin must have remembered his brother, hopefully, maybe. But I'm sure Joseph remembered his brother. Taken away. I can imagine one of my sons, taken away and his younger brother not even know who he was. But he would remember. All the things that your punk younger brother used to do to you. All the messing around that he did. It's emotional. It's emotional. I mean, I'm putting myself in the story. How would I feel if that moment were to me? And able to see and hear even my brothers who betrayed me, but I've gotten to this place. I wanted to bless them, but I wanted to be sure that they have learned their lessons. So, Joseph, what he did wasn't necessarily wrong. He was just making sure. The thing that I think that was wrong in the situation was the fact that they waited so long to return to Egypt. Simeon would be pretty much like, I guess I'm not worth much. And so he was there for a while until all the food was gone. I don't know how much food they bought, but enough to last a trip twice over, which is quite a long time, maybe a couple months. Don't know. So as we looked at this story, I want us to really reflect on that. God allows all of us to go through what we go through, to teach us, but then also to bless us. And also to play pranks on us too. So, if you decide to play pranks on your brother and sister, go back to this passage and say, Mom, Dad, it's biblical for me to play pranks. The same way, if you went to the book of Judges, I always tell people, the only haircut in the Bible was, was made by one man who got his eyes gouged out and his hair cut. And so, don't cut your hair, because that's what's going to happen. You get your eyes gouged out. Not very sound, but it is biblical. It's not very legitimate, but it is funny. However, in this passage, my prayer for you is that you would understand that God is over and He's in control of over all things. That's the important thing. And He'll allow things to happen to bless us in the long run. If we worship Him and continue with Him, we'll be fine. Alrighty, take care. We'll see you in the next one.